AL West, and they go into Seattle facing off against the Mariners, who sit at the bottom of the AL West. And amidst all this is a battle for the Rookie of the Year between Jeremy Pena and Julio Rodríguez, and they're going to square off against each other. I know Julio Rodríguez got off to a bad start, but he's looking good so far. Each club's aces are going to go against each other. You got Justin Verlander, Logan Gilbert, and you'll be looking to add to their win totals on consecutive nights. And the AL West seems to be Astros, but the Mariners have other thoughts on that. And we'll talk about that on this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talk Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can you find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter and Instagram, and Astros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, even when the boys are off, always Stros.
All righty, and it's nice to have off day. Well, not necessarily for us. We love watching baseball, but it's good for the team after playing 33 games and 34 days. It's good to see that they have an actual off day, and it's good for them to reflect. But I hope this doesn't mix up their mojo or anything, because they're playing some pretty darn good baseball. And so hopefully this keeps their winning ways going. But thank you guys for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, make sure that you keep on subscribing to us. Make sure that you go ahead and click that red button and go ahead and like us while you're there. And go ahead and listen to us on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast. So let's go ahead and discuss this series, because this is going to be it's always fun to play the Mariners, especially, I guess these are old days. It's not the old days when you have Lance Berkman, who used to play really good against the Mariners. And I think he also played good against the Reds, but this is a team that the Astros have played really well over the years. And this is a team that played the Astros well last year. I think the Mariners were a good team last year because they won a lot of one-run games, and they had a good bullpen last year. But I want to give you some stats before we get started, Brett. Looking at the bullpen, the Astros bullpen is this is from the relievers. The Astros have the best bullpen. I didn't know if you knew this, in the AL, with a 2.62 ERA. This is just pure bullpen. And the Mariners are second to last with a 4.34 ERA. If you're looking at saves, the Astros have 11 saves. The Mariners have 7 saves. And if you're looking at WHIP, the Astros have they're fourth with a 112 WHIP, and the Mariners are 12th with a 1.27 WHIP. So this isn't the Kendall Graveman Mariners anymore. This is a different Mariners team. They do have a good starting rotation, but we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, the Mariners came into the season with a lot of high hopes. Remember, we talked about them being a problem. They've got Logan Gilbert. They've got Robbie Ray. Those are supposed to be their two mainline pitchers. And it looks like Robbie Ray's given up almost 2 home runs per 9 innings. That's not a very good clip there. He hasn't performed. I mean, Logan Gilbert's got a higher WAR at 0.9 than Robbie Ray does at 0.6. So while they have a good starting 5, the pitching clearly hasn't gotten it done overall. Marco Gonzalez, Flexen, Gilbert, Kirby, Brash, who is all over the place, Sheffield, Stout, and Malone. Those guys are all considered starting pitchers. Malone's only seen 1% of the starts. But Ray, Gonzalez, Flexen, Gilbert, and Kirby are their main guys. Brash has been that guy that you've talked about before, a rookie with flashy stuff. He's high velocity, but he tends to walk batters a lot. And so what has happened to the Mariners is the exact opposite of what I thought would happen, where I thought it was going to be the Astros and the Mariners duking it out. I thought the Angels might threaten a little bit. I had no idea that the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim would be as good as they are as long as they've been, simply because they haven't ever done that. And like you said, coming off the good season, they got more players. They actually beefed up. People actually made the comment: the Mariners improved, the Angels improved, the Rangers improved, the Astros stayed the same. But yet the Astros are somehow up top. And what did I say? Come mid-May, the Astros are going to be on top of the AL West. What are they? On top of the AL West. I don't believe that they will relinquish that lead anytime soon, if at all, the rest of the season. The Angels make that a little bit harder thing to accomplish because they're very good this year. But the Mariners, they're in last place, Eric. They're in last. They're under the Oakland Athletics right now. And that is really kind of mind boggling. I guarantee you there's a lot of people in Seattle that are not happy about it.
I wonder if Joel Zamaya ever played for the Mariners, if he would be going off on the Mariners. I'm sorry, but as a Detroit Tiger, once a Tiger, always a Tiger. This organization should be doing better. Yada yada yada. But that was a great comment. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out the I think it was a Facebook or Twitter rant that
Yes. Well,
Joel
okay.
Zamaya
So
did.
Barstool ran basically posted a Facebook post by Zamaya, a former Tigers pitcher, basically excoriating the entire organization for giving Alex Avila basically an undisclosed extension. Like, nobody knows how long it's for. It could be a a Bobby Bonilla or Singleton type contract where he's paid until the end of time. And that's really sad, Eric, because with AJ Hinch at the helm, and we talked to Chris Castellani last time we played the Tigers, this is a team that he says, they've got some good players. They've got Casey Mize.
Right.
They've got Torkelson. They've got Badu, who has become a complete, like, he has disappeared. He is but a vapor of what he was last season. So with that being said, Eric, at the end of the day, you've got to be, as a Mariners fan, you've got to be upset with the way this club is not performing. I was honestly shocked when I saw that they were under the Oakland Athletics and in last place. I didn't think they were that far down. And wow, I just couldn't believe it.
You know what? I think it's a perfect time to go ahead and get to our three keys for the Astros winning the series. And I know we can kind of just look past the Mariners, say, yeah, this is easy sweep, but let's go ahead and look at it. What are your three keys?
All right, so here are my three keys to a series victory. Not necessarily a sweep, but a victory. The Astros must score early and give their pitchers room to breathe. We know that the Astros have not really done a great job giving their pitchers run support. We saw it in person, where you had Christian Javier looking like he was going to pitch a no-hitter, 9 strikeouts, and actually threw 9 strikeouts 2 games in a row with one walk or less, the first time to do it um
Garrett Cole.
since Garrett Cole did it in 2019. I totally went blank. I almost said Gilbert. I almost said Logan Gilbert. So the Astros, get this, right now they rank 20th in first innings runs scored. They score a run in 26.7% of the time. When they score in the first inning, it's only 26% of the runs. Now, let me tell you why that's important, because in 2021, they scored runs in the first inning at a 33.71% clip. So they're down almost 10 runs per game in the first inning, 10 percentage points down from last year. So they must score early. Number two, the bullpen needs to hold up when it's handed a lead. They can't give up the lead. They've got to continue to be the top bullpen. And number three, the Astros must hit 350 or better with runners in scoring position. Now, this is the Mariners, and I know that's kind of a lofty goal, but maybe I knock that down a bit to at least 300. They need to hit with runners in scoring position, because if they don't, we've gone to Seattle and we've seen how the Mariners can come back and win and do some damage against us. So Astros hit well in at T-Mobile Park. Those are my three keys: score early, give the pitchers room to breathe. The bullpen holds up their end of the bargain when handed the lead, and the Astros hit, I'm going to say 300 or better with runners in scoring position. Hello? Check, check, check. Okay. Eric just went silent for some reason. While he's working on his mic. So those are 3 keys that we think that the Astros need. Eric will be back here momentarily. We're having some technical difficulties with Restream, so we do apologize. Eric should come back in here 1 second. Eric, come on in.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you just randomly went blank. Okay, go ahead. Give us your 3 keys to victory,
Okay.
Eric.
All right, so my 3 keys are a little bit simpler than yours. The starters need continued success. The Astros had a 2.56 ERA during their stretch of 33 games and 34 days. So the pitchers, the starter, the relievers, they got to continue the success. Keep on doing what you're doing. That's what the key is. And you can't always count on this lineup. The lineup will give you some one day, give you a lot one day, but you can't always count on that. Yuli Gurriel, he's struggling all year, but we saw a little glimpse of him maybe potentially breaking out on Wednesday. He had 2 hits. Yuli Gurriel has got to do something, but it's going to be a tough matchup versus Flexen, somebody who he struggled with in his career. He is batting 154 and 13 at bats, so this will be a struggle. But if Yuli Gurriel can somehow use the momentum from a Wednesday's game to get going, then that would be great. But also, I think that just continuing the great play from Jeremy Pena. Now, we're going to talk a little bit later about him being rested, and we're going to talk about why it's important to rest him. But just him continuing to carry the offense, carrying everything that's the defense, everything. This guy is leading kind of what's everything that's important for the Houston Astros. That is Jeremy Pena. And it's like he's building on the success for the future, for the present. It makes me want to get him a box of Built Bar.
Yeah, so Built Bar is the best tasting protein bar in the land. And if you go to built.com, you can see all the amazing flavors that they have for you right there at your fingertips. They have these Built Puffs. They have these brownie batter puffs that are just simply amazing. It's basically like batter, but without all the calories. They have about 150 calories. They have 6 grams of sugar. They have 4 net carbs and 17 grams of protein. This is the only marshmallow puff that is infused with protein and a collagen protein, so your body absorbs it correctly. And at the same time, it's wrapped in 100% chocolate. So go to built.com for all your protein bar needs, or I should say your candy bar needs, because these truly are delicious candy bars and protein bars. Go to built.com and use the promo code LOCK. That's 15% off your order. Use the promo code LOCK15 and go to built.com. Built Bar, the best bar in the biz.
All right, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Why don't you go check out the Locked On Now podcast? They do a great job of putting all the nows from across the network, and you get to hear what's going around this great sport of baseball. It's 15 minutes of great action, great reaction. Just go check out the Locked On Now podcast and make them your second listen after you check us out on YouTube. So, let's go ahead. And now we kind of talked about our 3 keys to victory. And I really think that Jeremy Pena is becoming one of the Astros MVPs on this team. And he is actually making a name across baseball. A lot of people are saying, who's this Jeremy Pena guy? Is this, I thought Carlos Correa played for the Astros, but now Pena, do the Astros just raise shortstops now? And so this is something like a lot of people were saying, rookie year, it's going to be Torkelson, it's going to be Rodríguez, it's going to be Bobby Witt Jr., it's going to be one of those guys. But now Pena is just coming out of nowhere and saying, no, it's going to be me. It's my time to steal Carlos Correa's line. And he's the MLB did actual voting. It's like a way too early mock voting of the Rookie of the Year
Yeah.
race, and the top five, Jeremy Pena not only made the top five, but he was number one in the top five. You want to go and read those results?
Yeah, he received 25 votes for first place, where Julio Rodriguez received 10. Here's the deal. This 24-year-old has displayed these dynamic tools, Eric. He's hitting 293, 7 home runs, an 851 OPS, ranking among the leaders in sprint speed and outs above average. Then Julio Rodriguez, no slouch out in the outfield, no slouch on the base paths. This kid is recording a 3.67 OPS with no homers and 22 strikeouts in his first 48 appearances. But he put up a 32, 5 and 509 slash line with 5 homers, 126 plate appearances. So like Eric said, he started slow, but he's heated up. One of the fastest players in baseball. He's also made a huge impact on the bases, and he leads the major leagues with 12 steals. So this Pena versus
13.
Rodriguez. Oh, he's got 13 now?
Yes.
Okay, well, it was written a day or two ago, so it's
That's
probably
fine.
changed. But Julio Rodriguez has really come on the scene as the guy that they said he was going to be. Torkelson is, I think, going to fade into the stage left, or he's going to, the lights are going to go out on him as Rookie of the Year. I don't think he's going to be in the
Okay.
conversation. I think Bobby Witt Jr. is going to get his comeuppance at some point, and he's going to put himself back at the top. And sometimes this is a popularity contest, but you hope the best player truly wins. And if they were to vote right now for the best player, those 25 votes are correct. Those 10 first place votes for Rodriguez, I believe, are wrong. Not because Rodriguez isn't a great player, but I believe that Pena overall has done more, longer, and more consistently than Rodriguez. And he's clearly got a higher WAR. He's got the highest WAR of any shortstop in the league, Eric. So he's not just leading rookies, he's leading shortstops, he's leading veterans. And we'll get to Dubon later. Someone's asking about Dubon. We'll talk about him maybe in the last segment. But that is huge. Jeremy Pena is up leaderboard for an early American League Rookie of the Year, and I love it. And you know what? He probably talks about it less than we just talked about it in the minutes.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if this is entirely true, but I would not be surprised if they actually know each other. But Austin Pena said that a fun fact that Rodriguez took Pena to get a haircut today. So
Yeah, so I can confirm this is a legit source. Austin Pena actually, I believe, I don't know if he's related, but he is a friend to Pena. He's actually reached out to me on Instagram before. So that is a legit thing he's saying. Mr. Pena, thank you. Yeah, I believe he watches from one of the islands. I don't want to say Puerto Rico or the Dominican and get it wrong, but I know he watches us from a distance, and he said he loves a podcast. We've actually interacted through Instagram, through messaging. So yeah, Mr. Pena, thank you for sharing that with us. Hey, you heard it here first. Rodriguez takes Pena to get a haircut. Only on Locked On Astros.
So we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. But if you're looking at the stats, at the updated stats, like Pena is batting 293, Rodriguez 267, OPS, Pena 851, Rodriguez 726, home runs, Pena 7. You have Rodriguez with 5, then RBI is 22 versus 20. The one thing that Rodriguez is topping him on is the stolen bases, but I don't think Pena is known for his speed, but he does have speed. Don't get me wrong. He probably can steal probably about 15 bases in a year. He can definitely run around the bases, but I don't see him, especially batting as low as he does in the lineup. I don't see him stealing as many bases as Julio Rodriguez will. But I think that looking at how the Astros manage his playing time, and I know this is something that you had some confusion about earlier. He said, "Well, he's 20 years old. Why are you going to go ahead and do
well,
this?"
I didn't have confusion about it. I was genuinely questioning it because he's such a young player.
Right.
But like I mentioned, because he's never played a 162 game season, it makes perfect sense now that it was, I guess, explained to me. Sometimes I need the simplest things explained to me because, you know, like I said on the show last night, I'm always a student when it comes to baseball. I learn something new every single day.
Yeah, so last year he only played 37 games. He's already played 38 games this year. He's never played more than 109 games in any professional season. So basically, he played 16. I think he played like 9 straight games or something like that, and he hits safely in 16 out of his past 17 games. So Dusty Baker just decided to give him that Wednesday off, and this is what Baker had to say. He's never played that much. He's going to he's going someplace he's never been before. It's up to me and it's up to us to navigate his way through this. When you're young and exuberant and you get a chance to play, you're going to do good. You're not looking at the future. You're just looking at today. I've been there too. So basically, Pena is not going to say, "Hey, I need a rest. I want to sit." So Baker's just kind of making that decision for him. And I think that's kind of why the Astros wanted to go with the 6-man rotation, kind of to help Justin Verlander, because Justin Verlander's not going to say, "Hey, I want the extra day rest." But unfortunately, with Jacob Rizzi's injury, that kind of nixed that plan as well too. But definitely, we need to talk about what's going on with the. We need to make some series predictions, and we need to look at who's starting in the different games, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I bet that Justin Verlander is going to do really good in Friday's game.
Well, our partners at Bet Online would probably agree with you, and they continue to be the number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. I'm telling you, even as an inexperienced sport wagering person myself, betonline.net is the place where I go just because it gives me all the information I need. I mean, it's got the latest odds, it's got the news, it's got sports developments. Those are key things you need to make in your decision. Basketball playoffs, Major League Baseball scores, fights, and even next season's NFL futures. I mean, is Davis Mills the quarterback of the future for the Texans? Will the Texans win the AFC South? I keep talking about that. Will the Rockets take the next step with this draft pick and compete for a plot? Who knows? But at Bet Online, go to them. They continue to be the source for all your sports wagering information, from live betting to playoffs, esports, and more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. Bet Online, where the game starts.
Alrighty, so I know that the Astros are betting on Jeremy Pena having a great year, and a lot of people I know, including you, bet on Jeremy Pena to win the Rookie of the Year. So far, it's looking like a pretty good bet there.
So I
So
did, and I put a little buffer in there. I'll also put a little bit on Julio Rodríguez. So here's the deal. Hey, but a majority of my bet went to him. And if he wins, let me just say, I will not be sad about it. I'm definitely see this. Mr. Rashad said right here, the Reds versus Cubs, or rather, should we say the Bengals defeated the Bears 20-5. Holy crap.
wait,
Baseball is
the Reds
crazy.
won?
The Reds won. That's what he says. 20-5. Yeah, the Reds, the
Who would have
lowly
bet on
Reds.
that?
I don't know, but if you would have bet that, I guarantee you would have come home with some cheddar.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, so
Huh?
Albert said that Jeremy Pena posted this on his Instagram page. Yes, but I know I was just saying that Mr. Pena, I do know he is friends with Jeremy, like I said. So
Okay.
I knew that something like that was actually legit. But yeah, they post stuff like that all the time on Instagram. If you don't follow the players on Instagram, that's where you need to follow, not on Twitter, because on Instagram they have all the personal stuff, and sometimes they interact with fans. I've had um, my when I got what's his name, Pedro Leon's autograph at the Space Cowboys game. I posted a picture of his autograph, tagged him, and then he put that in his story. So I mean, if you interact with the players and you get pictures with them and post it, they'll post your stuff. I mean, they love that. So I'd recommend anyone to go follow your favorite player on Instagram.
All right, guess who's back? Back again. Kyle Lewis is back.
Oh, he
back
is
again.
back.
Yep.
Wow.
So he's had some pretty good success against Justin Verlander, who's going to be on the mound for the Houston Astros. He is 6-1 with a 1.22 ERA in the season with 49 strikeouts. He's going to be facing Chris Flexen who is 1-6 with a 4.98 ERA with 31 strikeouts. He is not flexing this year. He is actually drooping this year. You can say.
Stop. You try to you overuse the flexing thing.
I
You're like,
know.
I'm flexing on flex. No, stop.
Okay,
Oh,
get rid of
it's
this
all good.
person.
Oh, again,
Yep.
they're
Alrighty.
back.
Yeah, I did it. All right. So
Okay.
if you look at so Kyle Lewis actually has a home run against Justin Verlander. That's why I brought up Kyle Lewis. And then you have Dylan Moore, who has in 7 bats batting 286, and then Ty France is batting 333 against Verlander. But the rest of them are batting 200 against him. And if you're looking at Flexen, it's the normal suspects. Alvarez normally does good against him. 2 home runs in 7 bats, 429. Then you have Jason Castro with 1 hit and 3 at bats, and then Jeremy Pena has 2 hits and 3 at bats, and then Kyle Tucker is batting 364 and 11 at bats. So this could be a big offensive game or whatever.
It could
Whatever
be.
we don't know what happens. Remember that time that Julian Morales ate crickets, or was it grasshoppers? And
Yeah, some like chocolate covered grasshoppers
yeah,
or fried grasshoppers or something, and it ended up being some good luck thing. I don't know. Yeah, so basically, like I said on the show last night, Flexen's 1-6. I'm not worried about this guy. He's got a 4.98 ERA. Um, Even if hitters haven't had success against him in the past, I think this is the kind of guy where he's in a situation where, he may be pressing a little bit, where Justin Verlander is pretty much coasting and doing a great job, seeming to command every at bat. Even if he gives up a hit or a home run or something like that, he stays calm, he stays with it, and he's pitching more pitches than he's ever pitched before. So this 6-man rotation is a big key for him.
but we're not currently using a 6-man rotation, remember? But yeah,
Oh, that's right. Well, okay. So
yeah, I
that
know.
6-man rotation use has what
What?
helped him
Yeah,
to get to where he is right now. I
right.
guess is a point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, I hate the fact that even on a Saturday they have a 9:10 start, but whatever. That's Seattle
Yeah,
for
that
you.
is so lame. Okay, so 9:10. Okay, so that's 7:10. Can they
No,
play a game
it's
at
actually 10:10 their time. So isn't that 9:10 our time?
No, Eric. It is
Oh,
earlier. It is West
okay, that's
Coast. It is earlier than us. They are
okay.
2 hours before us. So when it's 9:10 here, it's 7:10 there.
Oh, okay, whatever. But
Yeah, no, not whatever. That's what it is. It's 7:10 on the West Coast when it's so right now it's 8:58. It's 6:58 right now on the West Coast.
okay.
So yeah, it's
Anyway, Jose Urquidy's gonna be on mound. He's 4-1 with a 4.24 ERA versus Logan Gilbert. He's by far their best pitcher. I know
yeah,
there's a new kid on the block that we'll talk about in a second. We're not going to face him, but he's somebody that's opening a little bit eyes. He struggled the last 2 efforts, but overall he's looking pretty good. But Logan Gilbert, he's a kid that came up last year. He's 4-2 with the 2.60 ERA with 55 strikeouts. And if you look at who's had success, Jose Altuve has a home run, is batting 556. You have Michael Brantley in 8 at bats, batting 500. Then Alex Bregman batting 600. So you have a lot of big numbers against Gilbert for such a good pitcher.
yeah, exactly. And you just have to go into this game and you just got to barrel the ball up. Like I said in my keys to victory, that I believe they need to score early because anytime you let someone like a Logan Gilbert settle in, he's going to throw quality pitches. He's going to command the zone and he's going to keep you off balance. And to keep him off balance, you probably see Altuve in the leadoff spot, bum rushing the first couple pitches and trying to get out to an early lead. I would really like to see Yordan Alvarez go yard. I know these guys like to hit. Here's the thing. Yuli seems to hit really well in this ballpark as well. So hopefully Yuli can get off this below 200 against these pitchers that he's facing. Heck, Martin Maldonado's hitting 167 against this guy. I'll take that over 86 any day. That's actually at least 2 or 3 more hits, right?
Yeah.
And Kyle Tucker, he hit that home run. Do you realize that was his first home run at home of the season?
Yeah.
That was the first one
Mhm.
he's hit all year. Like, I didn't realize that. I was like, wait, there's no way that's his first home run at Minute Maid Park. So
So, and by the way,
maybe
I
maybe
was
the
correct.
tides are changing. What?
That was a 9:10 start our time. That's what I was trying to say.
Oh, I thought you meant it was
No,
starting 9:10
no,
there.
I meant our time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So,
So 9:10 here, which means
yeah,
7:10 there. Okay. Well, you and I were making 2 different points and we
right.
were both correct.
Yeah.
How's that?
Anyway,
Only on Locked On Astros can you get both hosts to disagree but both be right.
yeah. So Luis Garcia and Marco Gonzalez will be the game 3 starters. Both of them have pretty similar stats. Luis Garcia is 3-3 with 3.38 ERA, 45 strikeouts. Marco Gonzalez is a lefty. The Astros have struggled a little bit with lefties, but they've had some success in their career versus Marco Gonzalez, some struggles. He's 3-4 with a 3.74 ERA, 27 strikeouts. And if you look at Alvarez is batting 417 with 1 home run and 12 at bats. Michael Brantley is batting 444 against him. Bregman's batting 313. And then you have Tucker batting 400 and Altuve batting 333.
Oh,
Yuli Gurriel batting 292.
dude,
So
dude, did you mention Martin Maldonado?
he's batting 269.
Yeah, hey, Martin
Noise.
DH Martin Maldonado. Come
But
on, DH. Dude, Martin Maldonado can hit some absolute tanks. Yeah, I've seen him hit a couple tanks there at T-Mobile Park. I'm telling you, man, I think he takes Marco Gonzalez deep when he plays against him.
and I think actually that Jeremy Pena actually has a home run against them this year
He
too. So
does. He does.
yeah. So if you're looking at the last 7 games, Mark Gonzalez is 2-3 with the 3.93 ERA. So I think that let's go ahead and get to our predictions. So
Okay.
what do you kind of see transpiring in these next 3 games?
I see a 3-game sweep of the Seattle Mariners. I see the Houston Astros taking care of business. This is the last place Mariners. I don't care if JP Crawford's back. They're terrible. They're worse than the Oakland A's. The Oakland A's are bad. This is bad baseball being played in Seattle. There's no reason the Astros limp out of here 2-3 or 1-2. They sweep the series 3-0. I'm calling it right now.
Well, we thought the Red Sox were a terrible team, and then we played them. And all of a sudden, we woke the
I
sleeping giant.
I picked the Red Sox to win 2 of those 3 games.
Yeah.
Okay, I picked them to beat us. I'm not picking the Mariners to beat us. The Mariners and the Red Sox are 2 different teams. The Red Sox actually have a better lineup, top to bottom.
Yeah, Trevor Story has actually started hitting, and that's the big difference. That's key to lineup. I think that he was struggling. He's trying to struggle to fit in, learning how to play second base. And now that he's actually comfortable, he's hitting home runs left and right. He's on one of my fantasy teams, and he's like carrying my team a little bit now. But yeah, the Mariners are definitely not the Red Sox. They're 18-27, 11 games behind the Astros. They have a negative 29 run differential.
Mm.
Remember when the Astros had a negative it was 21, or I forgot how deep it
They
went,
were
but
they were definitely under. They were definitely not over.
they're now at a plus 47 run differential. The Angels still have a plus 48 run differential, but they're still 2 games behind the Astros. And I think George Springer just hit a home run off Ohtani, if I saw that correctly. So,
Oh, really? Wow, there you go.
so
Jose Altuve leads with leadoff home runs this year, and right behind him is George Springer with 4, I believe. I believe Altuve has 5, and I believe Springer has 4. Unless Springer's home run today was a leadoff,
it was a
I
leadoff.
don't. It was a leadoff home run. Oh,
Mhm.
then he tied Jose Altuve. So
Yeah, it
he's
was a
tied his old teammate for the lead. Oh, so hey, just real quick, just a random side note. Yesterday, when I was taking stuff off of my walls at school, I have all these Astros posters behind
uh-huh.
my desk, and I have a poster that I'm finally like, I've got to retire this poster. It has 4 Astros on it. Only one remains in Houston. It's Altuve, Keuchel, Springer, and Correa. And I was keeping it up there, hoping that it would keep Correa in Houston. He left. And I was like, you know what? I think it's time to retire that poster. It's old school. So
Yeah. So if you're looking at the last game versus the Cleveland, I know that Luis Garcia gave up 2 earned runs. The game before that, he gave up 3 runs. He only lasted 4 innings. The game before that, he lasted 5 innings, gave up 0 runs, had 9 strikeouts. The last 2 games, he was responsible for losses. So I hope that Luis Garcia is able to break that streak. But I think the Astros do lose one of the games. And not that I think the Mariners are a good team, but I think that the Astros just sometimes find a way to get in their own way. Either they make some errors or the bullpen, even though it's a good bullpen, it's like one of the best bullpens in baseball. They have the good leverage people, but then they have some people outside of the leverage people that are just not as good. And
well,
so,
I think if they did lose a game, like you say, if they lose one of the games, I think it will be more because they don't hit. I don't think it will be a pitching reason. I think it will be a hitting reason.
yeah. So I hear some banging. So that's why I was like, wait, what's
Okay.
going on?
Yeah, I
So
didn't hear anything. Hey man, trash cans banging early. That's right, man. We gotta get it fired up, baby. This is H
that's
Town.
a curveball.
That's
I heard 2 bangs.
yes, for real.
So anyway, that's all we got for this edition of the Lockdown Astros podcast. We got a weekend full of games, and we're excited to watch them. And I'll be going down to do some tubing on the river, so I'm excited about
Oh
that.
gosh. I'm
So,
joking. Yeah,
anyways,
blah blah blah. Oh, that's okay. Hey man, I'll be hanging out with some family on the island this weekend, so that'll be fun.
are
So
you gonna be
whatever y'all do.
island boy?
No, I am not one of those dudes. But hey, I will say this for those of y'all listening, if you're listening on Friday, we hope you have a safe Memorial Day weekend. We hope that wherever you're getting to, you travel safe, that when you celebrate that you're safe. Please designate a driver. Please don't drink and drive. From us, Locked on Astros, we want you guys to come back. We want you to be your Sunday night. Sunday night, we're going to have Win, Houston Astros super fan, season ticket holder, ultimate Astros traveler, going to tell us some stories, and we're going to talk about what happened over the weekend. And then Eric will be back on Monday, and I'll also be recording opposite of that another minor league interview. Stay tuned because tonight at about 10 or 10:30, I'm going to premiere my interview with Joey Lupifito, round 7 2021 draft pick out of Duke University. It's a great interview. So come back a little bit later. We'll have that and you can hang out with me. I'll be in the chat room.
All righty, that's all we got for this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. His name is Brett Chancey. We are the Locked On Astros podcast, your team every day. Go Astros!